Assisted Suicide by Matthew M. Liu. Education Philosophy Class 303. Final presentation of the Spring 2013 semester. What is assisted suicide? Assisted suicide is the suicide of a patient, usually someone who is terminally ill, that is aided by a caregiver or especially a physician by the express wish and consent of the patient. The patient wants to kill himself but can't, are aided by a caregiver or physician to be able to kill himself by many ways. This is one way of form of suicide. There are other ways of suicide where a person kills himself by themselves. This is assisted suicide, which gives the right of a caregiver or physician to kill the patient that they are in pain. There are many ways to perform this one type of suicide. Caregivers and physicians can give them pills to be able to kill themselves. For example, pills that eat up your body, or they can administer lethal doses from giving them a IV that goes into their body and it kills their blood system, like the white blood cells. It stops the heart beating. It stops movement in the brain as well. More on assisted suicide. Assisted suicide has been debated over many years and still is to this day. This topic has been in court so many times. It has been a long and heavy battle on if assisted suicide should be legal or should it not be legal in the United States. It is still debatable to this day, even in court. Many say it is also equivalent to breaking one of the 10 commandments, "Thou shalt not kill." This quote has come from Pickett article, from Time article. Thou shalt not kill is a commandment which our Lord has established here on earth. The New Mexico law. New Mexico State Statute 30-2-4 says assisting suicide consists of deliberately aiding another in the killing of their own life. Whoever commits assisting suicide is guilty of a 4th-degree felony. So if a physician or caregiver helps a person commit their own assisting suicide, they are guilty of a 4th-degree felony which can lead to jail time and or fines or even both. The U.S. Supreme Court ruling. In 1977, the U.S. Supreme Court has ruled that people who wish to kill themselves but are physically unable to do so have no constitutional right to end their lives. The strictest law in the United States. Oregon, they have the strictest law on assisted suicide than any other state or territory in the United States. In Oregon, a patient must be expected to die within 6 months or fewer in order for the doctor to even allow you to self-administer lethal doses of medication. This quote is coming from Fidman, page 27 of Assisted Suicide book. In Oregon, it is legal for a doctor to do this only if there is proof and documentation that a patient is expected to die within 6 months or fewer. This is to be able to protect not only the patient but also the physician and the hospital as well. What are the sides of assisted suicide? When researching this project, I have found for and against suicide. For the people that are for assisted suicide, they say the sick and terminally ill can end their pain and suffering indignantly, so they are able to end their lives with end their pain and suffering, and able to do it with the respect and courtesy. It is the person's right of choice, their right to die. It is the person's right, their freedom of speech. One of the articles in the Constitution that we have free speech, we can be able to think on our own. Families do not have to suffer anymore or any longer. Families do not have to see their families or loved ones be able to suffer in that pain that they are going through. It could be such as cancer, AIDS, or any other medical treatment that there is no cure for. They do not have to suffer for financial burdens and costs. They do not have to pay for the cost of the treatment or the hospital bills. Against the suicide, say, what is the determination of terminally ill? What's the definition? No one knows. Only the people that are able to are of the doctors are able to determine that. It is a violation of God's commandments. It affects the surviving families emotionally and mentally. It is also known as murder within all states within the exception of Oregon. What are the reasons why people choose this way? One reason is that they want to end their medical bills or lack the funding to pay for expensive while they are in the hospital. They do not have the money or the insurance to be able to cover for all medical expenses. The second reason would be that the person wants to end their suffering and the motive of lack to live and go through more pain than they're already in. They do not want to be in more pain than they are already in. This is why they choose this option. Finally, the third reason would be that they don't want to have their loved ones worry about them or see them suffering and tear them apart while they are in terminal states. Suffering is a big thing because they don't want to see loved ones to see them in suffering or in pain. They want to be able to move on, start the healing process. Dr. Jack Kevorkian. Who is Dr. Jack Kevorkian? Dr. Jack Kevorkian has been known as Dr. Death. Dr. Kevorkian is a former doctor who is, in his time, was a famous doctor who helped assist patients with their own suicide. Jack Kevorkian had made a machine to kill patients that they want to die. He has helped more than 130 patients commit assisted suicide. Assisted suicide has started with Dr. Jack Kevorkian. He is famous for helping more people commit suicide than any other doctor. Pro-life. There is no clear distinction between what is terminally ill or chronically ill. Advanced treatment and medical treatment or cures can be found, but we do not know how long or how far it will be. A person could be dead by the time if cure can be found and it'd be too late to get any treatment. It demeans a human life. What medical alignment is next? Doctors' decline in health care towards patients. Is it morally illegal? And the last one is important. It is unreversible. If you are dead, you cannot come back to life. You are dead. And a survey that I found on fingerfriends.freepost.com, it says, do you believe that assisted suicide should be allowed when a person is terminally ill or suffering from a painful disease? On the web poll, people have voted whether they think that it is right or wrong from their own opinion. For it, you can see we have 83% of votes, and against it is at least 17% says there are against it. More people are for it than against it. So more people want to be able to have that people have their own choice. My resources. California Against Assisted Suicide, www.ca/aas.com. I asked this website on April 30th, 2013. Dr. Jack Kevorkian information, www.nndp.com/people/272/000023203. It was asked on April 29th. The New Mexico Criminal and Traffic Law Manual, year 2012, page 225 under homicide laws was used May 1st. This is where I found the law on New Mexico under the assisted suicide law. More resources: Assisted Suicide, Time article by Kate Pickett, Final Exit, Comparison or Assisted Suicide is also a Time article. Going Too Far with Assisted Suicide is also another Time article. More resources. These are books. First one is Lori Friedman, Assisted Suicide, published in Michigan. Publisher is Thomas Gale. It was published in 2007. Lastly, we have Haley James. The title is Death and Dying. It is also published in the state of Michigan. The publisher is Green Heaven Press. It was published in 2003. This concludes what is assisted suicide. Hope that you have learned from this and that we can know more what assisted suicide is and how it affects our lives. Thank you for watching.